Well, firstly, you can mix two polyphonic sounds together, so we can have right one and right two together. Do you remember earlier I showed you a piano and string setting? Well, that's nice, it made a lovely sound, but of course the volume of each of those sounds is fixed because it's a pre-made voice. What might be nice is to mix piano and strings but have the freedom to alter the volume of both as you see fit. So, with the arrow pointing to right one, first of all, I'm going to choose my piano sound. Now, do you remember the default piano sound was 129, and that's a lovely grand piano sound. So, again, I'll just confirm that we're choosing a voice by pressing the voice button. And we want 129. So remember the rule, hold the 1, it jumps to the left, then press 2, 9. And that gives us back our grand piano in the screen. Now, to switch right to on, you hold the two light grey buttons together. Press them simultaneously, and you'll see that now the black marker has come on at the side of right 2. Press them again, and that would switch that section off. Switch it on, and at that point you can select the sound. Actually, it's already come up with a nice string sound, so we use that. So now we've got right 1 and right 2 both on because the black marks are at the side. And there's our nice piano and string sound together. Now, using the plus and minus button for each section, we can adjust the volume accordingly. So we may want to take that string volume down. The minute I press the plus or minus, the volume of that section, showing right 2 volume, comes up in the screen. So I've taken the string sound down. You may want the string sound much louder than that. So let's use the plus button to bring that back up, maybe to in excess of 100. And you could take the piano sound back down in volume so you can achieve the balance you want. Now again, at the moment, we're using the whole keyboard as one sound, but I'm sure most of you out there want to use it in what I call keyboard form with the split keyboard. And that's very easy to do. We go over here and we switch accompaniment on, off. And again, if you look at the side of the screen, there's a little black marker next to the auto accompaniment plus and minus buttons, which shows that the accompaniment is on. Now, if you were to run down the keyboard, there, we've got a blank keyboard at the bottom now. That will be the section that is used when you start one of the automatic rhythms. If you wanted a sound there as well as the automatic accompaniment, that's where the left section comes in, and that effectively, if you think of a 2 keyboard instrument, then becomes like the lower manual. And it's lovely because we can have a nice sound in the left. So to switch that on, we press the 2 buttons simultaneously. The black marker has come up, and I'm going to dial up maybe a nice little vocal sound there. So below our split point, I've now got a vocal sound. Above the split point, I've now got piano and strings. Now we're starting to build up a really nice registration using lots of sounds. We've got 3 different sounds playing. If you want to add auto accompaniment on top of that sustained volume, vocal sound rather, then you come over here and this time press Style. And again, either use the data wheel, your list of styles is over here and the relevant numbers, or you can dial in the number. Remember, the same rule applies for anything above 100, that you'll need to let the number jump to the left. Now, if we switch, for instance, our synchro start on, you'll see the little tempo ball there and the counter is starting to flash in time with the tempo. When we start to play, then the style will begin to play as well. stop the rhythm. Now, I know many of you will like to use automatic intros and endings. So why don't we press our intro button? Again, it indicates in the screen that we've selected the intro, and the tempo beats again are pulsing in time with the tempo. So this time, let's play a different chord. We'll get a nice automatic intro. And when you get to the end, press the ending button. Now there's a nice little trick here. Effectively you've got one intro, one ending for each rhythm, but you can actually use the fill-ins to give you a short intro. If we press, for example, the synchro start, so that it will start when we touch the keys, and I'm going to press fill in 1 when I press the keys. There we go. It took you into the piece using fill in 1. Let's do synchro start fill in 2. So actually, with a little bit of trickery there, you can use fill 1 and fill 2 as short intros. You can use the main intro, the full intro, which could be 4 or 8 bars long, or you can just use the sync start to come straight in. There is another button called key start, and what that means is if you press that, the style will play as long as you've got the chord held down. As soon as you release the chord, it stops and back on again. Now that can help some people when they're first learning a piece, because if you're struggling a little bit with the timing, then it does allow you to cheat a little bit and take your hand off, and then when you come back with both hands, you know you're going to be back in time again. So there's a simple little tour of how to select some sounds for the right one, right two, left. Don't forget, you can switch sounds off during the piece of music. So let me just give you one example to finish with on this section. I'm going to start with right 2 switched off. I know I've got a string sound ready to come in, and pressing the 2 buttons simultaneously works like a conductor button to switch that section on or off. So if we were now to be playing our tune, now I'm going to bring right 2 back in by pressing the 2 buttons. And so on. So you can bring those different sections in. So to recap, we've got right 1 as our main sound. We can layer another sound with it or bring it in and out using right 2. Don't forget I could switch right 1 off for a while and just have the strings as the main voice and then bring the piano back in. We also have a left sound. I think that's really important because that adds a nice sustained sound behind that accompaniment and really fills it out. Remember, before you select a sound, indicate that you're selecting a voice. Either use the data wheel or type the number in. Remember the little trick. If it's over 100, let the first number bounce to the left and then press the rest. If you're only going to the next sound or a few sounds up, we've also put quite a handy little plus and minus button there as well. If you're going to choose an accompaniment style, press the style button first and then apply the same rules. To switch the auto accompaniment on, you need to make sure that the little black marker is showing next to the auto accompaniment buttons there. Either switching on the left voice or the auto accompaniment will automatically split the keyboard for you. So that finishes the first section. I'm going to show you now how to make this so easy to use, by using the automatic setup feature.